Hi there, it's time to look at Avalanche through the Wyckoff lens again. I know it's a piece of Red Sea today, and if you have been with me for a while, we know this is not a surprise because we have been expecting more tests to come. So if you're new to my sessions, here are the three key items I will cover. So let's start with the weekly chart of AVAX. Along the way, we have been in this downtrend for quite a while, even before the October 10th tariff announcement. What's going through now at the moment is that the price is trying to continue to test the lower key level of this blue $12.20. Okay, it tested it 2 weeks ago, but then tried to climb above 14.05, that purple key level. Got heavily rejected when it got close to the red key level of $15.80. Now, trying to retest this level. From a Wyckoff perspective, it's understandable that we will have more tests. This is what we hope for. I'll say this is only like 30% as of now. The test is going to continue, and I hope this is the final test, like the spring, that dips very low before the actual distribution. But sometimes it will take even longer. So after multiple sign of strengths, many tests, until the point that people are no longer willing to sell, and that finishes the accumulation, and that's what gets us to the next distribution. So you see these price spreads getting lower and lower, volume getting to the lowest point. That's what we want to see. As of now, we're not there yet. The volume has been still high. This week, the candlestick has just started. So let's hope for the similar kind of pattern to reappear, and that will signal to us that that's probably the bottom of the cycle. And I've brought in some interesting tags to add to the chart. So you notice I've enlarged the size so it can be more easily readable even if you're watching my videos on a smaller screen. What I have brought in are these tags. So the blue ones are for the distribution cycle. It's basically what's actually happening during those stages. And since we're still within the accumulation, let's start with the accumulation, and then we get to the distribution, and finally we'll get to the daily time frame and see what additional information the price charts are telling us. So we're going through this particular period after the second test. This is the weekend's diamond hands testing period. Okay, the big guys is going to swing up, swing down, trying to shake out whatever people are still holding certain amount of stock in hand, so that they can gather more before they push the price up again. So this is the weekend's diamond hands period that we're going through. Okay, it's all multiple tests, okay? And then sign of strength is when the price advances above the automatic rally or somewhere near the automatic rally with increased volume. Those periods during September and July wasn't particularly high in terms of volume, but they were, I would say, a little bit higher than the average of the previous half a year. Okay, so it's still valid. The automatic rally itself over here is where the cycle top is set. So you see during the accumulation, most of the time the price has been trading somewhere below the $26 level where the automatic rally ended up at. Okay, and preliminary support, coincidentally, I call it the panic sell or the whales got in period. While the retail, the small fishes, are scared and trying to squeeze themselves outside of the exit, the whales start to sneak in, and then the selling climax is basically the panic is over, and we see usually a decline in volume, and eventually the automatic rally comes. So one final thing that hasn't happened yet, the whales try to get in although along the way they are getting in, this may be the last stage to back up last one support where they put in further long positions. So somewhat like this over here, before they get into the distribution. So that's where the second part of this exciting exercise comes in. The PSY, preliminary supply period, is where the whales first selling. Okay, you see this wick over here, or this candle over here, the long wick at the top, long wick at the bottom. If it's, small fishes gets in and FOMO in, and then they try to get out that early, okay, assuming that's the case, making such a dent isn't a small volume, so it won't be just the small fishes, even if there are some. The buying climax is where the retail FOMO pushes the price to a very high level, maybe all-time high or maybe just similar to previous peak, but then there can be subsequent, late FOMO or fake bull. And the whales, of course, they're going to offload everything during those time. If they have anything left, the last point of supply is where they're going to offload. Alright, and then they're going to sit by the side and wait for the price to come to the accumulation cycle again, where they are watching, like the rich guy in the Squid Game, from across a very comfortable room with a big screen, champagne, nice food, seeing people panic sell, and then they start to press the button, I'm gonna get in now. Alright, until the panic is over. And then it starts all over again. Just like the famous Mimi, there we go again. Okay, so this is the big picture. We're hoping to see the final stage or the lowest point of accumulation. From historical point of view, the bottom of the long-term playground zone, it's somewhere around $8-ish. Alright? We don't hope to see that the price of AVAX to get to that point, but October 10th did show us that it can get to below $9. So we can't be too complacent and think that it won't be happening. In fact, there's a chance that it can happen. So while the test continues, expect the spring or the lowest point may end up at a level that not only October 10th has reached, but also back in October 2023 during the lowest point of the accumulation. Okay, so it's not something that hasn't happened before. It has happened actually more than 2 times, because you look at 2021, that's also where the price has gone to. Alright, enough big picture, and let's get to the daily. So this downtrend, this air hockey table that I've been sharing in many or almost every session. I'll explain in a second if you're new to this air hockey table. Basically, it's still trading, even with today's drop. It's still trading on the stronger side. So remember last week, when we talked about this, every time when I see the potential breakout chance or trend change confirmation opportunity, I'll tell you, okay, look at these triangles. Alright? Basically, we just got a confirmation. So the last couple of days after our last session, the price climbed to above the purple key level of around $14. But then when it gets to this decision point, it's giving us confirmation that the downtrend is going to continue. So hopefully it stays along this stronger half of the table or the channel. And by then, when we get to around the 10th or 11th of this month, or further down near the 20th, right before Christmas, we will get 2 other chances of trend change confirmation. If it breaks outside of the downtrend and forms a new horizontal sideways trading, that's already a good sign. If it doesn't, if it also bounces off from the ceiling and gets to test the other $10.30 key level, then we'll have to hope for right before Christmas that the trend change confirmation comes. Of course, I already mentioned it can go further down as long as it stays within this downtrend. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Okay, because we see this line over here. That's the line that I said October 10th, 2023 October, all tested this level. This is at around $8.80. Okay, the volume that we're seeing right now isn't particularly low. I hope to see something even lower. Okay, almost half of what we have in the past 3 days. So the selling climax may not have appeared yet, and we're still probably going through the preliminary support stage for the daily time frame. Okay, the weekly is obviously at a lower point already. Okay, always remember, Wyckoff wasn't designed for the daily time frame. It's just based on the community request that we're trying to explore more. That's more of an experimental approach. The weekly is the big game, the real game. All right, thanks for joining me.